Walt Disney is one of the most iconic figures in entertainment history. His legacy includes beloved characters, timeless films, and, of course, the creation of Disneyland, the happiest place on Earth. But the story of Walt Disney's rise to success is anything but smooth. From humble beginnings to global recognition, Disney's journey is filled with passion, determination, failure, and ultimately, groundbreaking success. Let's dive deep into the life of Walt Disney and discover how he built an entertainment empire that would change the world. Walt Disney was born on December 5, 1901, in Chicago, Illinois, into a modest family. His father, Elias Disney, was a strict man whose ventures as a farmer and businessman often ended in failure. Walt and his four siblings grew up in a strict household where financial struggles were a constant part of life. This early hardship had a lasting impact on Walt, fostering both his creativity and resilience. As a child, Walt showed an early love for drawing. He would spend hours sketching animals and scenes from his rural surroundings in Marceline, Missouri, where his family had moved. Marceline played a crucial role in shaping Walt's imagination and provided the backdrop for much of his later work. The small-town life, with its peaceful atmosphere and warm community, heavily influenced the creation of Disneyland's Main Street, USA, and even the design of early Disney films like Dumbo and Bambi. By the time he was 10 years old, Walt was already dreaming of a career in art. Despite his father's opposition, Walt's determination to pursue art never faded. At 16, Walt dropped out of high school to join the Red Cross as an ambulance driver during World War I. This experience exposed him to a wider world beyond rural America and fueled his creative instincts. After the war, he returned to Kansas City, where he worked various odd jobs to support himself while pursuing his passion for art. He eventually landed a job at the Kansas City Film Ad Company, where he learned the basics of animation. This would become the foundation of his future success. In 1920, Walt partnered with a fellow artist, Ub Iwerks, and together they started a small animation studio called Laugh-O-Gram. They created short animated films based on fairy tales. Despite their talent, the studio faced constant financial troubles. Investors pulled out, clients went bankrupt, and soon, Laugh-O-Gram had to close its doors. Walt was left broke and homeless. He had only $40 in his pocket when he bought a one-way ticket to Hollywood in 1923. At the time, Hollywood was not the center of animation that it is today. Walt initially tried to break into live-action films, but found no success. His persistence, however, paid off when he managed to sell his idea for an animated series called Alice's Wonderland, which featured live actors interacting with animated characters. This was the beginning of the Disney Brothers studio, which Walt started with his brother Roy in Hollywood. One of the most defining moments in Walt's career came in the mid-1920s, when he lost the rights to his first successful character, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. Universal Studios, which had contracted Disney to create Oswald cartoons, took ownership of the character, leaving Walt with nothing. Many would have seen this as the end, but for Walt, it was just the beginning. Instead of being defeated, Walt returned to his drawing board and created a new character that would not only surpass Oswald, but become the most iconic cartoon character in the world, Mickey Mouse. In 1927, Walt Disney and his team introduced Mickey to the world. The first animated short featuring Mickey, Steamboat Willie Check-Shack R.I., was groundbreaking for one important reason. It was one of the first animations to feature synchronized sound. Released in 1928, Steamboat Willie was a massive hit and marked the beginning of Disney's rise to fame. Mickey Mouse was more than just a character. He symbolized a new era in animation. With his charm, optimism, and resilience, Mickey embodied many of the qualities that Walt admired, and that would become central to the Disney brand. Soon, Mickey's success allowed Walt to experiment with other characters, such as Donald Duck and Goofy, expanding the Disney universe. But Walt wasn't content with short films. He had a vision of creating the world's first full-length animated feature film. Many in Hollywood thought it was a foolish idea, calling it Disney's folly. But Walt pushed forward. After 3 years of hard work and innovation, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs premiered in 1937. It became a colossal success, earning over $8 million during its initial release, an astronomical sum for that time. Snow White was revolutionary, not just because it was the first animated feature, but because of its technical brilliance. Walt invested in new technologies, such as multi-plane cameras, to give the animation a depth and richness never before seen. The film's success established Disney as a leader in animation and paved the way for future classics like Pinocchio, Fantasia, Dumbo, and Bambi. However, not everything was smooth sailing. The financial strain of producing Fantasia and Pinocchio during World War II led the Disney studio into financial difficulties. Walt was forced to lay off many employees, leading to a bitter strike in 1941. This period was one of Walt's most challenging, as the strike shook his confidence in his company. But true to form, Walt bounced back, always pushing forward with new ideas and innovations. Walt's vision wasn't limited to animation. In the early 1950s, he began working on what many thought was his most ambitious project yet, an amusement park where families could enjoy entertainment together. Walt had visited many amusement parks with his daughters, but he was often disappointed by their dirty conditions and poor design. He dreamed of creating a park that would be clean, well-organized, and full of magical experiences. In 1955, Walt's dream came true with the opening of Disneyland in Anaheim, California. On opening day, the park was met with chaos, counterfeit tickets, malfunctioning rides, and a gas leak. Despite the rocky start, Disneyland became a huge success, attracting millions of visitors in its first year. Walt's attention to detail and insistence on creating a fully immersive experience set Disneyland apart from other amusement parks. Every element, from the rides to the food, was carefully designed to fit within the park's themes. Disneyland wasn't just a place to visit, it was a place where dreams came true. By the 1960s, Walt Disney had become one of the most powerful figures in entertainment. He continued to innovate, producing live-action films, television series, and even educational programs. The success of films like Mary Poppins showed that Disney could master both animation and live action. At the same time, Walt began planning his most ambitious project yet, Disney World in Florida. Sadly, Walt passed away in 1966 before seeing the completion of Disney World. However, his vision lived on. His brother Roy took charge of the project, and in 1971, Walt Disney World opened its doors to the public, becoming a major success. While Disney World was a triumph, Walt's most futuristic idea was the experimental prototype community of tomorrow, Epcot. Epcot was meant to be a utopian city where people could live, work, and thrive in harmony, using the latest technology. Though Walt didn't live to see it completed, the concept of Epcot eventually evolved into a theme park celebrating innovation, human achievement, and world cultures. Today, it stands as a symbol of Walt's forward-thinking mentality and his belief in the potential of humanity to build a better future. Walt Disney's legacy is not just about the company he built, but the values he instilled in it. He believed in the power of imagination, hard work, and storytelling. His attention to detail and commitment to quality helped shape Disney into the global entertainment empire it is today. Walt once said, "All our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them." And indeed, his own life is proof of that. Today, the Walt Disney Company is worth over $130 billion, with theme parks, films, television networks, and merchandise that continue to inspire generations of fans. Mickey Mouse, the character that started it all, remains an international symbol of joy and optimism. Beyond the films, the theme parks, and the characters, Walt's legacy lives on in the way he changed the entertainment industry. His impact can be seen in how animation evolved into a respected art form, in the success of animated feature films, and in the blending of technology and entertainment. His work with the multiplane camera revolutionized animation, adding depth to scenes that hadn't been possible before. In many ways, Walt Disney invented the idea of modern-day immersive entertainment, a concept we now see in theme parks, video games, and interactive media. His influence is everywhere, And it all started with one man who believed that imagination could change the world. Walt Disney's journey from a struggling artist with only $40 in his pocket to the creator of one of the most successful entertainment empires is a story of perseverance, innovation, and dreams. He changed the way we experience entertainment and brought magic into the lives of millions. Walt Disney's legacy will continue to inspire dreamers for generations to come,